Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. I'm here to respond to the Chris Hansen and EDP445 interview.
Well. I guess I'm gonna do a reaction,
which is people were hoping for, and it is confirmed.
Who is EDP445?
He is a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan that is kind of obsessed with the team. He loves to have fun. He loves to be wild. He loves to enjoy himself and have a good time, and at the same time making sure that his friends and family are taken care of.
Is he a predator?
No.
What does EDP445 mean? What does it stand for?
Stands for Eat That Pussy 445.
And who came up with that?
I did. I remember, I think it was like back in 2000, what was it? Like 2010, 2011. I was sitting back at the computer desk. I was actually watching, to be honest with you, and I wanted to just make like I wanted to make a YouTube channel, but I wasn't really sure what to call it, and I chose that name, and I just closed my eyes and I just typed random numbers upon the keyboard. And it was actually 6 numbers, but I just narrowed it down to 3, and 445 was what was left.
EDP445.
Yeah, there.
But I personally am going to discuss about it, but I'm going to try to be careful because, especially with YouTube's strict guidelines, I'm not going to lie when I say it is hard to do videos on EDP when he's talking, because especially the amount of cuss words that he says. So yeah, that could potentially put my video at risk. So I'm going to be careful when I decide to discuss about this guy.
Who is Alex Rosen?
Alex Rosen, I'm guessing, is a guy that decided to, he's on his, vigilante quest to go out and try to catch predators, but in my honest opinion, in a very unprofessional way.
How did he first come into contact with you?
I first came into contact with him, during the whole, the whole setup sting operation in Bakersfield over there on Mount Vernon. I parked at the Rite Aid across the street. I mean you've seen the video, right? Yeah. Parked at the Rite Aid across the street, walked over. There's like apartments that go up in like a slope, kind of, you know what I mean? Parked right here, walked over, and as I was walking up, he must have been hiding, I'm guessing, by the wall where the Jack in the Box was. I didn't see him, obviously. Came up from behind, and that's the first time I ever met him.
So what brings you out here today?
Well, I was coming out here to...
Glasses off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
This is the moment I'm sure the majority of people have been waiting for, because especially when EDP got caught in the sting operation in 2021, and the second time in 2023 by Gideon Skeeter Jean, people are hoping that Chris Hansen will be their savior to get EDP locked up.
Why did you show up that day? Why did you go to that location? What did you think was going to happen?
I showed up to that location that day, trying to, obviously meet up with an underage girl. You know what I mean? And, I guess you can say, I don't know, trying to have sex. I don't know. I mean, whatever.
You trying to have sex with a 13-year-old girl?
For the most part, yep.
That's a crime.
Of course.
Why did you do it?
Well, see, the thing is, right, a lot of people have to, and again, I'm not justifying it, I'm just trying
Well, you shouldn't justify it because it's not justifiable. It's a crime.
Right. But at the same time, I'm trying to...
It's predatory.
Right, I understand. And I'm trying to get people to understand, where I was in that state of mind at that time. You know what I mean? The thing is with YouTube, right, and it all kind of goes back to whatever. The thing is with YouTube is that, being that popular and having that much money and having that much of a following and stuff, the power kind of gets to your head. You know what I mean? You kind of get the big head a little bit. You know what I mean? You kind of have this whole sensation, and this whole tendency of, you think that you can't be touched. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much, why I showed up. You know what I mean? Very lonely, didn't really have anybody to interact with, you know what I mean? So,
but there's being lonely and preying upon a 13-year-old girl.
Right.
Being lonely is finding somebody who is of legal age, whether it requires you spending money or whatever it requires to be with and to do what you need to do to not be lonely. This is a sexually charged conversation with someone who told you she was 13.
Right.
Sophie, who reached out to whom first?
She did.
She reached out to you.
Or Alex Rosen or whoever it was.
Alex Rosen posed as a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
I just found your YouTube channel. Why are you so funny? She says. You say, because I keep it real on those.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
From the very beginning, people believed if Chris Hansen was to interview EDP, the first thing we were all gonna assume is that EDP was not gonna answer the tough questions. But since this is part of the documentary, I can't estimate how much he's getting. So EDP feels like now, because he's getting paid in the documentary, he has no problem having to admit and confess to what he did in the past.
I'm 13. I don't know if I told you. Yeah, you told me. We're just chatting. We cool. That makes up you and about 99% of my no pussy getting fan base. Okay, bet. So she makes it clear,
right?
Or Alex Rosen posing as this girl makes it clear that she's 13.
Right.
And the conversation gets sexual.
Right.
Graphically sexual. There's grooming.
Right.
You seem so shy and nervous, you say. Yeah, haha, I was nervous. My hands were sweaty. There's no need to be nervous. Just be yourself. Sophie says, you're a YouTuber. I watch and I got to talk to you. It made me nervous. Oh, that's so adorable. Remember, I'm just normal. What are you thinking at that point? What's going on in your head when you're having that discussion at that stage of the chat?
I mean, it's been almost 4 years ago, dude. I'm still
But we're not talking about a passing conversation with someone whose age you didn't know. Mm-hmm. This was someone who made it very clear that she was 13. And how old were you at the time? 30?
29, 30, somewhere around there, yeah.
She says, I'm always cold. Oh, poor thing. Wish I could hug you, warm you up. When and where, she says. Hopefully soon. I just don't want to come off as weird. It comes off as pretty weird to me. Do you regret any of this?
Of course. Of course I do. You know what I mean? And, obviously there's been people out there that say that, he has no remorse or no regret. Listen, man, they're entitled to their own opinion. Trust me, I get it. You know what I mean? But it's like, you can't sit back and say I don't have any regrets or no remorse. It's like, you don't even they're not in my head. They don't know what I'm going through 24/7 for them to even make that type of statement. You know what I mean? So.
You blocked her at some point.
Right.
What was behind that?
I knew that it was wrong. It was highly illegal. And I knew that it was the right thing to do at the time. And then I unblocked her, obviously.
Why did you unblock her? Had you just blocked her and been done with it and done the right thing then, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation today. You would still likely have a YouTube channel making a lot of money. And not the scourge of the internet for being a predator.
That channel will be gone, but still, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Why didn't you just keep her blocked? Why did you open the door again to let her in?
Like I mentioned before, just being lonely, not really having anybody to confide in, to communicate with, you know what I mean? Not really having any hobbies around the house, you know what I mean? So, and pretty much my life at the time was like, let me see, wake up, do cameos, different shout out videos, stuff like that.
Nobody your age you could have hung out with.
No.
No women your age you could date. You had to pick on a 13-year-old girl.
Pretty much, yeah.
You laugh at this.
Well, I mean, I know where you're trying to go at this. And
I know where I'm going with it because it's wrong.
Right, I know.
It's illegal. Had Alex Rosen not botched this, you might be in prison right now.
Thank God he didn't.
Well, you could look at it two ways. Maybe prison is where you belong because of this.
It's strange because he's so nonchalant. You would think that someone that's confronted by Chris Hansen would be shaking in their feet. And EDP is literally taking up the seat. Thing this is for him is that he feels like because he's part of this documentary that nothing's gonna happen to him and that he's untouchable. He admitted, that he's untouchable.
If it was where I belong, I'd be in shackles right now. So, and that's not me. Like, that's not me upon like being nonchalant about it or anything like that. I mean, see, the thing is with me, it's like I've been, I've had like 3.5 coming up on 4 years to deal with this. You know what I mean? Back and forth conversations, had enough time to think about it and whatever, you know what I mean? My thing is this, man, and I don't want to come off as like, I don't give a damn about it. It's this or it's that. Like, my entire thing about it is like, I've moved on and I've tried to like, I'm doing what I have to do. I'm not going to sit back and dwell on something that's like,
But there are people who think you should have gone to prison for this.
Right. Right, I understand.
And you see why they would think that.
Right, I understand. Totally.
You admit in the conversation with this Sophie, I can't do this. Honestly, we can be friends and be cool. I can't do this shit. This is something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. I hope you aren't upset or angry by this. At this point, you seem to be seriously concerned about having sex with this girl who told you that she's a virgin.
Right.
If you had walked away at this point, none of this goes down.
Right.
What made you come back?
I've already mentioned it, man. Loneliness. You know what I mean? Not getting out the house, not really, again, it all goes back to the whole, and not necessarily saying like people, like you see this all the time or whatever. It's like, people have a tendency of doing this, I feel like, because they are, I guess you can say they're curious. You know what I mean? They enjoy the innocence and having control of somebody.
Sounds like that's what you wanted to do.
Right.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
I'm gonna try extremely hard to maintain my composure, and I mean extremely hard.
It doesn't matter whether this is a documentary or not. If you confess on camera and you admit to these things, then you are still piling evidence against you for the police to look into. And I agree with others who say, like, my opinions 333. They even said like he has to be one of the dumbest people in the documentary, or just one of the dumbest predators out there, because he's saying way too much and he's being way too open about himself. And that's what I learned, is that if you're way too open and you admit to things that you know that could potentially ruin your life, you don't realize the moment it happens, because you're in your comfort zone. You haven't been confronted by the police, you haven't been approached in real life, no one has put their hands on you, so of course you're going to be at that moment that nothing has happened, you have nothing to worry about. But when it gets to that point, that's when not just EDP, that's when that person's mood changes. That's when the persona entirely, that's when they have a completely different entire persona, because they went from being cocky and arrogant, from being regretful, and at the same time being miserable.
What else do you like? She asks. You say, as far as sex goes, sure. Well, of course, oral. And I also like role play. That's basically where you dress up and pretend to be someone else, or you pretend to be daddy's little girl, But all that stuff is further down the road. Can't wait to kiss you. You're making me feel all types of ways, she says. Tell me how you feel. Just let it out and be honest. Or should I come kiss and hold your hand and force it out of you? Just keep kissing you and nibbling on you until you say it. And I know the perfect stop, too. I'll nibble on your ear. Trust me, that's most girls' weak spots. She's 13. And you're grooming her. You acknowledge it's wrong. You block her. You seem to have a conscience for a little bit.
Right.
Why didn't you just keep her blocked?
You know, I mean, I don't really know how many times I have to say it, man. It's been like, you know, loneliness, not, I mean, like, I'm not sure what you want me to.
Well, I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to understand why you didn't leave it when you should have left it. I'm trying to understand what was going on in your mind, why you behaved the way you did, and how someone who had such a successful social media career could have it all blow up for this. And I think a lot of America, a lot of the people who followed you,
Right.
who consumed your content, had the same questions.
I mean, I don't really know what you want me to say.
I don't want you to say anything except tell me the truth.
That is the truth. I was lonely as hell. I wasn't really going outside. Really didn't have much of a life outside of YouTube. You know what I mean? Really didn't have much success talking to women, you know, even in high school, even after high school, you know what I mean? Always, you know, always afraid of rejection, you know what I mean? That's not an excuse, not saying that, just trying to get you to understand.
Right. And as you know, I've confronted hundreds of predators.
Right.
Reporting on them.
Right.
And people ask me all the time, why do they do this? Even when some of them know, many of them, most of them know it's wrong. And so I'm posing the question to you, who got caught being a predator.
I think a lot of people more so do it because, if anything, they're more so bored.
Bored.
Yeah, they don't really have anything to do.
Did you ever have sex with someone you met online like this?
No.
You looked down when you said that.
Where else you want me to look? You want me to look up? And nah, I didn't. No, I didn't.
This was the only time that you met somebody who said they were underage online.
Well, I mean, then there was also Kayla the second time.
Right. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I mean, you said sex, but I said, you know.
Well, but that's where you were headed to meet this 13-year-old girl, was for sex, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know, meeting up with somebody and having sex are two different things. So. Shame on me, man. I'm speechless, bro. I'm speechless, dude.
Hey, bro, you want to call the cops?
Please don't, man.
Why not?
How about you call the cops?
You call the cops. You want help? Call the cops.
You should call the cops.
Call
Go
the
ahead.
cops.
Please don't.
Dude, listen, like, you need to go to jail, man.
Hey, he's using my phone to record. You call him?
Dude, please.
You call him. You call him.
Call the cops. Explain what's going on.
Explain to the cops what you're doing here, why you came out, and what you did. You need to get help. We're honestly...
No. Hold on.
Call the cops.
Please,
Go ahead.
Please don't.
Go ahead, call the cops.
Come on, man. Please. No. Please.
You call the cops.
Please, you guys are there.
This is disgusting.
You guys
This is like sadist type of. You know what a sadist is?
You guys.
What's stopping me from pressing the green button? What's stopping me?
This is like sadist type of stuff.
Sorry.
This is disturbing stuff.
I can assure you guys, EDP was not doing himself any favors in this interview. So I honestly, I'm hoping maybe this will be enough to convict him. But considering the amount of years he's gone away with it, either the police are seeing this as content. It was just like what Chris Hansen said, is that most of the predator catchers aren't doing it for the right cause. They're doing it simply to get their channels monetized, and it's a complete clown show. And I have to fully agree.
Oh my God, babe, it's a playful spank, you say. When I spank you, it's supposed to be sexy, LOL. If anything, I just bend you over and kiss your ass. Oh, that's hot, she says. Probably lick at some too. Lick my cheeks. Yes, well, maybe, but only if you're a good girl. I want to lick something else, too. If you keep being mean to me, I'll be forced to punish you, and LOL, and you have to guess. I'm going to get you out of your shy and comfort zone. What are you trying to do here with this?
What do you think I'm trying to do?
Well, it sounds like you're trying to sexually assault a 13-year-old girl.
If that's what it looks like, I guess that's what it is then. I mean,
handcuff you, throw you in the back of my car and bring you back to my dungeon, LOL. You talk about climbing through a window.
Mm-hmm.
You're so hot and cute and even had me jerking off. Were you masturbating when you were talking to her?
Mm-hmm.
You sent her pictures?
Yeah.
You sent her pictures of your penis? Oh, it'll be okay, baby, I promise. I'll go slow, to the speed of your liking. Whatever you don't want to do, I won't do. But if you enjoy it and want it in all the way, then I shall satisfy my princess. This is a 13-year-old girl who's never had sex before. And you are setting up a situation where you would be her first sexual encounter.
13 or 20. Because there's rumors out there, 13, the decoy was 20, Alex Rose.
No, but in the scenario where you thought you were talking to a 13-year-old girl.
Right.
So let's not bullshit around about that.
Oh, yeah, I ain't bullshitting, I got you.
Okay, all right. If there was a 13-year-old girl here who was willing to have sex, you would have had sex with her in all likelihood, and that would have been her very first experience, potentially scarring her for the rest of her life.
Sure.
And you're talking about this like it's just something I did because I was lonely.
It is. I mean, what else you want me to like?
Well, I know, but don't you think this stuff's true? The thought of your pretty, cute, sassy-ass little mouth sucking on me is incredible. Can't wait to see how you suck on it. I want to eat your pussy. How? Basically saying I want to eat your pussy is like basically just sucking on it and licking on it. And then you show up. What do you think would have happened had there been a 13-year-old girl?
Probably would have had sex.
And what do you think that would have done to that 13-year-old girl?
Oh, scarred her.
Just scarred her? You're that casual about it?
I mean, scarred her, tormented her, emotionally disturbed, PTSD. It would have been a horrible thing for her.
Do you feel guilty still to this day?
Of course. Of course I do. You know what I mean? I'm not,
But you're treating this like it's some casual thing.
It's been 3.5, 4 years ago. I've moved on. Like, I have a life to live, man. I can't just sit back and dwell on shit and not move on and not have a life. You know what I mean? Like,
that is it. Guards give him the death sentence.
I'm not saying Chris Hansen is perfect, but I can assure you that, especially before there were even, I'm sure even before there, obviously before there was TikTok, before YouTube, I apologize for the noise in the background, you guys, but before YouTube, he came before YouTube. He actually caught a bunch of other presidents and has gotten them convicted. Is all on camera.
Do you remember the moment in your head when you decided I'm going to go meet her?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I was sitting up on the couch. I called up my friend Philippe, who originally told me don't go. It's a setup. You know what I mean? And originally I wasn't going to go. She called me back a second. Well, there was the first time she called, I believe. First time she called, we were going to meet up. Then I called my friend Philippe. He told me not to go. It was a setup. Then I believe I messaged her. I told her I can't do this, can't go. It's highly illegal and it's wrong. She then started crying, telling me that, my parents are gone. I just wanted to give you a cupcake, whatever. And me personally, I genuinely felt bad. So I decided to go. And it's crazy because what I'm about to tell you is it's a blessing in disguise. At the time, I'm not sure if you know, but I owned a lot of firearms and stuff. And I actually had a Glock 17 on my counter, which I was actually going to end up taking with me in case, shit went sideways, And I took it with me, but I walked back into the house and I left it on the counter.
You were going to bring a gun with you to that meeting.
And it's a good thing I didn't bring it with me, because if I had of, and Alex Rosen and the whole camera crew would have came, yeah, I'll probably be going down for 3 counts of murder in the first degree.
You would have shot Alex Rosen and his crew.
Yeah.
Shot him dead.
Yeah.
You truly believe that?
Oh yeah, I truly believe it. Blessing in disguise, man. So I left it at home.
What makes you so sure that you would have pulled that Glock 17 out and killed all 3 of them?
The thing goes skitty tip pop pop, and the poop poop boom. Skia, boom boom boom.
I would trust, and I agree, I would trust Chris Hansen more than I do trust the Predator catchers, because I feel like they're not in it for the good cause, they're not professional enough, and they're just way too goofy. Same goes for this interview, and I'm going in on EDP because he feels like nothing is gonna happen to him, and just because the police haven't came stepping into his house, knocking on his door.
FBI, open up!
The thing is, right, when you're in that situation and you know, like the whole, you know, fight or flight thing comes into play. I'm not sure if you heard of that before. You know, like your ass is on the line and you don't know what to do. You know what I mean? And you know that these people are here to, you know, potentially try and attempt to ruin your damn life. You will do all type of wild shit. You know, not saying that I didn't take any role in that. Obviously, you know what I mean? I could have just said hell no and just not have went, you know,
which would have been the right thing to do, by the way.
Right. Totally. Yeah, I mean, there's been times, like, even since moving out here, I was a gun owner and stuff like that. And, I would go to the range and stuff like that, you know. This is probably about like 6 months to maybe a year after. So it happened in 2021. So maybe like summer of 2022, you know what I mean? So around there, I would go to the range and, I would, in my mind, you know, when I'm at the range, now I'm talking about, you know, full on arsenal, fucking Scar 17, AK-47, you know, I had it all at my disposal. You know what I mean? In my mind, while I'm shooting the target, I'm killing Alex Rosen, all the fucking people, Master at work, all those people, that, you know, that partook in this, you know what I mean? There's been times where, like, I've literally told a friend of mine, do me a favor, come over here, change the combination to this goddamn gun safe. I don't feel safe having these things around me, you know.
Because you were going to strike out at Alex Rosen, or because you were going to kill yourself?
I was going to strike out at Alex Rosen. Well, a mixture of both. Well, I guess you can say, well, the Alex Rosen thing already had happened.
Right.
You feel me?
But
so more so myself.
Were you still angry at him that you would go hunt him down and kill him?
Oh yeah. I mean, there were multiple times where, like, now, I mean, I've had, I've still had, like, loyal, you know, like, followers and fans and stuff hit me up on Instagram and stuff. They're like, you know, I don't condone doxing people no matter whatever they did. You know what I mean? They were, like, hitting me up and like, yo, man, we have his address. You know what I mean? And in my mind, you know, and even in my sister's mind, well, not my sister's mind, more so like, my friend Kelvin's mind, who I went to high school with, you know, me and him were having a deep rooted conversation and stuff. And he's all like, well, obviously, yeah, what you did was wrong. You know, I'm not going to say that it was right. He's like, but at the same time, he's like, I've been knowing you for a long time. I know that you're a good person. You know, he's all like, but at the same time, you know, and I'm not switching the blame here. That's not what I'm doing. Okay. He's like, you know, at the same time, what they did was very dangerous. Like, who's to say you can't find their address or load up your car full of guns, drive to Texas and go fucking murder them all? Because right there, I have his address. It's literally right there.
Did you think about doing that?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I've literally thought about, you know, like, you know, I've thought about, you know, like, loading up the car, you know what I mean? And just, you know, driving 14, 15, 16 hours and just blowing them all the fuck away, you know? But at the same time, it's like, you can't do that, man.
That starts to die down. This whole incident with Alex Rosen Sophie.
I don't think it ever died down, but sure.
But you started to get past it.
So what now?
You started to get past it.
Right.
And this guy has to be the most delusional piece of shit there is out there. And EDP,
Things might change for the better, and things will be worse for EDP. But him being nonchalant, because again, when you're in an interview, especially with Chris Hansen, he's gonna try to get you to confess, and then not only does he try to get you to confess, he's gonna make sure to bring the evidence to know. So if you try to lie or you try to weasel your way out, he's gonna read the evidence in front of you. So that's one thing I do respect about Chris Hansen, is that he has no problem bringing the evidence and reading in front of them, but like, he knows how to keep his cool. He's not silly, and although it may be funny to watch when these predators get confronted by him, he sets the tone for me, like personally, like, because I feel since he's like an OG, he's someone I feel like you can trust more than anybody when it comes to these catches.
More recently, there's this situation with Kayla,
Hoskins, yeah.
who's underage.
Right, 15.
15.
Right.
Which is the same issue as with someone who's 13.
Correct.
How do you even get involved in this after having gone through all that? Being exposed as a predator, however they did it, you were exposed as a predator, trying to have sex with a 13-year-old girl. And now this?
Mm-hmm.
With a 15-year-old girl?
Mm-hmm. You want me to explain it? What?
Please.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so pretty much at the time, I believe she hit me up first, which was, I believe she was sent by Gideon.
You're so fucking hot, you know that? I'm literally leaking pre-cum just thinking about you, is what you say to her.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be with a little emo girl.
Ass, ass bulged out, titties popped out on Instagram, but nobody wants to talk about that, right?
Well, talk about it.
Oh, I mean, see, man, what I'm about to say is going to sound fucked up, but I mean, half of it already is fucked up. But, see, the thing is, right, and, these little young ass girls, right, and I always tell my friends this, right, I'm like, man, these little young ass girls, man, they come on Instagram, they come on social media and shit, right, and they're taking pictures, sexually provocative ass content, ass and tits bulged.
That's like blaming the victim.
Well, I'm trying to explain to you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, for me, and the way I see it, it's like, they know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? Doesn't give me the right or anybody else to
know what the F you're doing.
Right.
He's a grown-ass man
exactly
talking to a child.
Exactly. So
that doesn't really wash.
I never once said that it did wash. I was trying to explain to you, what people see. You know what I mean?
So you saw a 15-year-old girl who had a shapely figure and a quote-unquote fine Latina ass, and you wanted to have sex with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't see a problem with that?
Of course I see a problem with it.
Why did you do it then?
Well, I remember at the time, I was working, and I had recently, I think I went homeless for about like a month. Simply due to the fact that it was like some shit going on with the apartment complex or whatever. And so, I was doing overnights at work and stuff like that. And, she randomly hit me up one day. At the moment, obviously looking back upon it now, thought that it was a good idea. That's why I did it.
I'm telling you right now, you threaten. If you fuck me over, if this shit goes wrong in any way, shape, or form, I'll give your soul to the Lord because your ass belongs to me. So you know what you're getting into is illegal.
Right.
You've already been stung once. Got out of that by the skin of your teeth. And now you're involving yourself potentially with a 15-year-old girl, and you're threatening her that this better not be a situation where she fucks you over. In other words, I'm going to shoot your ass if you fuck me over. I'm going to shoot your ass. You threaten this girl.
But I'm telling you right now, if you fuck me over, if this shit goes wrong in any fucking way, shape, or form, give your soul to the Lord. You want to respond to me?
How do you justify that?
You don't justify it.
But you just told me that all the other stuff with Sophie was 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. You're past it. And just months ago, you're engaging with a 15-year-old girl about sex and threatening her that if she sets you up or stings you, that you're going to shoot her. That is horrible, illegal, predatory behavior, violent behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I know guys who have gone to prison for way less than that.
Same here.
Way less. And it would seem to me that the only reason you're not in prison right now is because of the way these investigations were conducted by vigilantes.
But yeah, when you see these two, look at the way they're looking at each other. And I'm not sure. I haven't mentioned this one. I've mentioned this more than once. But when I see Chris Hansen confronting EP, it gives me Metro versus Miriam, Sarutobi versus Orochimaru, Whitebeard versus Blackbeard, Yamamoto versus Aizen.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
It gives me those type of vibes when I see these two looking at each other, because you have the older guy who's the more wiser and respectable person, while you have the other person who's literally a predator and goes after vulnerable people. So EDP is one of those people who goes after vulnerable people, while Chris Hansen was one of the older and wiser people who's there to confront the problem. And although this may sound off topic, but when I see these two, I literally get that vibe. And I mean in a good way for Chris Hansen and a bad way for EDP. But honestly, he already said enough as it is, and it's very hard to cover EDP because the amount of swearing. But considering the amount of confession that Chris Hansen was able to get, hopefully, because like I said, he's gotten other predators convicted before. Hopefully, this is not only this is evidence, this is enough to get EDP locked up, because you have Chris Hansen, who kept his cool, was able to interact and try to get as much from EDP, and EDP openly admitted. So there's no excuse for law enforcement to say that they can't crack down on this, or the evidence hasn't been forwarded, because he spoke that he didn't threaten to arrest EDP. He was being professional. He just had a conversation, discussed to ensure what his intentions were, and he got the answer, and from there he just let him leave, and that's it. That should be enough for the police to step in and take EDP in for not only for question, but to make sure that he's out from that he goes to jail, and that he's not out in public harassing more kids. And in the document it says a lot too, based on what, because people can argue, oh, it's for entertainment, but also if you're being yourself, you're being way too open, and you're admitting to stuff. This should be a reason for police to actually go out of the way pursue him, because you're someone who just interviewed him and just let him go, and he's waiting for the police to take action, which is something that needs to be done.
See you around. Round, you're fat.
Until then, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. No more talk.
But overall, I feel like it's enough for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.
fight your brother. Let's kung fu!